And good evening, everyone, and welcome into the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. I am your host, Russ Renault, and yes, you can actually hear the show again. I'm sorry about that. The last several weeks that we had audio issues that I didn't realize we were having. Just a one-man crew here, and so if somebody doesn't point it out to me, sometimes I don't see some of the things or hear some of the things or not hear some of the things that go on the other side of the broadcast, and so that's kind of slipped by me, and so I will put some safeguards in there so that doesn't happen again. So I actually missed some really good content with our instant reactions the last few weeks. We've been coming in right after each card and talking about those, and so basically I was just talking to myself, and so that sucked to figure that out, but at least we got it fixed for this week, and I appreciate you joining us here as we recap what happened tonight, the UFC Fight Night from the Apex in Las Vegas between Brendan Allen and Chris Curtis. So we're going to go through this pretty quick. We got a UFC 300 preview that we're going to do. We're going to go through every card, every fight on that card, and give our picks for that, just for entertainment purposes only. No, not for any betting purposes. You can do that on your own. Take it for what you may tonight. So here we go with UFC Fight Night from the Apex in Las Vegas. And in the main event, Brendan Allen, ranked number 8 in the middleweight division, defeating Chris Curtis. He's ranked number 14 by a split decision. Got the split decision, but looked like Brendan Allen did what he needed to do and got the job done. Judging can go all over the place, as you saw tonight, but Brendan Allen looked good. And, just kind of did what he does in the middleweight division, just kind of hanging around there, and you never know what'll happen. You hang around long enough, and you get in one of those title fights. So good job for him. Kind of expected, so nothing surprising there. Co-main event, Damon Jackson defeating Alexander Hernandez by a split decision, featherweight division, and we'll take a look at some Damon Jackson cards that we have later on in the show. That's kind of some of the better cards we have left. So when people win, or even if they don't win, we like to show those cards off that we still have available, some of the better ones that we do have. And so we'll show those Damon Jackson cards here in a little bit. Just some other fights of note. We're not going to go through every single one because we're going to get to this UFC 300 preview pretty quickly. As we do this instant recap. So Ignacio Bahamondes, this is one of the better rookies from the 2023 products, and he gets a TKO in the first round against Christos Giagos in the lightweight division. So nasty kick, and so big things for Ignacio Bahamondes. So we like to see him do well. Pulled a lot of his cards in those products last year, including an autograph and a lot of numbered cards from him. They got snatched up really quick, and good for those people to pick those up because hot commodity there in the lightweight division. So up and coming, and hats off to Ignacio Bahamondes. Just a personal note here, just right here in our neck of the woods, Alex Morono, trains right here in the Woodlands, Texas, and he gets another win over Court McGee, so a welterweight division matchup here, unanimous decision. So second straight win for Alex Morono as things keep ascending for him, and we like to see that here. We're behind him, and so great job there by Alex Morono. Just one other fight of note on this card, Norman Dumont. She's ranked number 11 in the women's bantamweight division, and she defeats Jermaine Durandamy by a unanimous decision. Really controlled the fight with 10 minutes of control time. So not a lot of significant striking going on. And so, not the most exciting fight, but Norma Dumont, we like to point out the ranked fighters on here. So she kind of just holds her place and it gets that win tonight here at the UFC Fight Night. So here we go. This is what we've been looking forward to. UFC 300 next weekend, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And we've got the light heavyweight championship on the line between the champion Alex Pereira and the number one contender, former champion Jamal Hill. And so, like I said, we will go through and we'll give some picks and what we think will happen. And so you can use this for your own information, whatever you do gambling wise. Just be careful out there. So what I've said all along is usually what I want to happen in a UFC main event on a pay-per-view is the opposite of what actually happens. So I would love to see Jamal Hill win this fight, but so that tells me that Alex Pereira is going to win this fight. And I do think, just coming off that nasty Achilles injury, I don't know that Hill's completely back. He could totally fool me. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know that Pereira's he's just there right now, and so it took Izzy 4 times to finally get to this guy. So I'm picking Pereira here by knockout. And I'm gonna say second round, third at the latest. I don't see this one going the distance, so I don't believe we'll have a new champion here. As we've seen here lately, we've seen a lot of belts changing hands, and so I don't think that happens next weekend, next Saturday night. So then we get to another title fight, women's strawweight division. Zhang Wei Li defending against her fellow countrywoman, Yan Xiaonan, all China matchup. Number 1 contender in the strawweight division, and they would have loved to have done this in China. It just didn't work out, but ends up on this great UFC 300 card. So, like I said, I don't think this belt's changing hands either. I think Zhang Wei Li hangs on. I do believe it will be a little bit closer than a lot may think. I think this may go the distance. So yeah, I think both belts stay where they are next weekend. And also the BMF belt is up. Justin Gaethje, number 2 in the lightweight division against Max Holloway, number 2 in the featherweight division, former champion at featherweight. And I believe that Gaethje holding on to this BMF title. So I just don't know the path here for Max. And with Gaethje just riding so high and a lot on the line for him. So I just see Gaethje taking care of business here in this one. Then you get to Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan, number 1 against number 4 in the lightweight division. And I like Oliveira in this matchup. Like I said, he's also just got too much riding on this one. Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage, middleweight matchup. Only fight that doesn't involve the ranked fighter on this entire card. And I think Bo Nickel, and man, I'm looking forward to seeing this one. And I think Bo Nickel takes care of it, maybe a little less impressive fashion than we hope for. Light heavyweight matchup between number 2 Yuri Prochazka and number 5 Alexander Rakic. And I like Prochazka in this one. Featherweight matchup, number 7 Calvin Kattar against the former bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling. And I like Kattar in this one. Just believe that he's kind of one of those underrated guys. I saw some, I watched him fight Josh Emmett a couple of years ago, and, watching with the sound off, I thought that Kattar won the fight. Emmett got the decision. It was a war, but, that's just who Calvin Kattar is, and I think he gets a win in this one. When it was bantamweight matchup, this is one that's, got a lot of eyes on it, way down the card, but still a huge story with Holly Holm, ranked number 5, the former bantamweight champion, taking on Kayla Harrison, coming over from the PFL, making her bantamweight debut, or UFC debut. And I'm going to go with Kayla Harrison on this one. I think she's just going to overpower Holly Holm and get this done. Could be totally wrong on this. I see a path for Holly Holm just kind of being quick and wearing Kayla out. I could also see that happening. Then we go to the featherweight matchup between number 13 Sadiq Youssef and Diego Lopez. And like I've said, for all of 2024, as these new Top Scrum products are coming out, Diego Lopez is the best rookie in this 2024 class right now, and I believe that he gets a signature win here to get him into the top 15, and so the quick rise to stardom for him, and look for great things to happen for him going forward. I think he's just one of the best people, one of the best fighters to watch in the UFC right now. Then you got Jessica Andrade and Marina Rodriguez in a women's strawweight matchup. And, you know, I could go either way on this, but it's just telling me that you look at it, you think this is a fight that Jessica Andrade should lose. But that's usually when she's at her best. And so I think Jessica Andrade kind of guts this one out and picks up the win. Then the lightweight matchup, Bobby Green, Jim Miller. Bobby Green ranked number 14. Jim Miller has been in all the Century UFC pay-per-views, UFC 100, UFC 200, now UFC 300. And I like Bobby Green right here, even though Jim Miller is a warrior. And this is just a great spot for him. Just one of the things he wanted to accomplish. Very cool for him to be part of all three of those events. Then to lead it all off, and this is crazy, this is how good this card is. No matter what anybody says, this is how good this card is. Bantamweight matchup between the former flyweight champion Davison Figueiredo. He's ranked number 8 in the bantamweight division against the former bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt. And I like Figueiredo in this one, kind of outlasting Garbrandt. It's only a 3-round fight, so I see Figueiredo doing enough to get this one done. So there you go. There's our picks for UFC 300. Looking forward to it next weekend. We'll be right here, right after it, next Saturday night. So that one's going to be a little bit of a late one, so I expect that one to go pretty late. We got kind of lucky here tonight with the earlier card. So we'll kind of go through kind of quickly what else is on tap. We'll kind of hit the highlights of the fights that have been scheduled, some of the things that have been scheduled this week, and some of the things we kind of know about that are unofficial. But had a change of the main event, April 27th from the Apex. Mateus Nicolau was supposed to face Manel Kopp. He's now going to be facing Alex Perez. So number 5 against number 8 in the flyweight division. And that co-main is a light heavyweight matchup between number 11 Ryan Spann and Bogdan Guskov. So looking down the rest of that card, nothing else really jumps out. You got a women's top 15 matchup in the flyweight division. Further down the card, Ariane Lipski and Karine Silva. So then we get to UFC 301, May 4th in Rio, and the flyweight belt on the line. Champion Alexandre Pantoja taking on number 10 Steve Erceg, coming off a big knockout win over Matt Snell that propelled him to this title shot. And the return of Jose Aldo, bantamweight matchup between Aldo and number 14 Jonathan Martinez. We've got also Anthony Smith taking on Vitor Portino in a light heavyweight matchup, number 10 against number 15. Middleweight matchup, number 13 Paul Craig, number 15 Chao Varallo. Women's strawweight matchup, number 13 Karolina Kovalkiewicz against Yasmin Lucindo. Elvis Brenner, another good rookie in 2024, is on this card in the lightweight division. So kind of one of those names to look out for there on those prelims. So fight night, May 11th in St. Louis. Derek Lewis, ranked number 12 in the heavyweight division against number 15 Rodrigo Nascimento. We got Terrence McKinney on the card. Carlos Ulberg with a nice matchup against number 12 Alonzo Minifield in the light heavyweight division. You got Ticia Pennington, formerly Tisa Torres, wife of the women's bantamweight champion Raquel Pennington, just coming off of having a baby not too long ago. I believe that was last year, but she makes her return against Tabitha Ricci. I think it was a tough one for Ticia Pennington in the strawweight division. Then fight night, May 18th from the Apex in Las Vegas, one that we have our eye on. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Edson Barboza against LaRon Murphy in the featherweight division. But on this card, our favorite fighter, Haley Cowan, former Baylor Bear. So that's our favorite fighter on this show, taking on Tamaris Vidal. That fight was scheduled a couple of years ago, maybe early last year, but couldn't come together. I think both fighters were injured at one point. I think Haley had to pull out first with an injury, and then Vidal had to pull out the next time that it was scheduled. So now we get to see this one. Hopefully everything goes well and everybody stays healthy this time. And on that card also, a flyweight matchup, Probably a little bit understated. Tim Elliott against Tatsuro Taira is actually a really good fight. Then we get to UFC 302, June 1st from Newark, New Jersey. No main event yet, but some fights have been added to that card. Nico Price, Jeremiah Wells, Anthony Hernandez, Roman Dolidze, Mickey Gall against Basel Hafez. Basel Hafez is somebody to keep an eye on. I believe as these 2024 products go along, I don't know if Topps will start making those of him or if he'll be in the 2025 crop, but Basel Hafez is somebody to look out for. Phil Rowe gets Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews, one of the rookies from 2023. Grant Dawson returning against Joe Selecki in the lightweight division. Grant Dawson coming off that loss to Bobby Green. Probably kind of fired up for this one. Then we got Fight Night, June 22nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's a big one, middleweight division. Number 3, Robert Whitaker against number 11, Hamzat Chimaev. And then we got number 3, Sergey Pavlovich against number 6, Alexander Volkov in the heavyweight division. Welterweight matchup between Calvin Gastelum and Daniel Rodriguez. Light heavyweight matchup between number 7, Johnny Walker, and number 9, Volkan Ozdemir, and Sharo Magomedov against Ihor Pretoria in the middleweight division. So that Saudi Arabia card is looking to be pretty solid, and you figured that it would be. I mean, it's the first event for the UFC in Saudi Arabia, so it's going to be pretty stacked. Then you got International Fight Week right after that, so you're going to have a stacked card here at UFC 303. Kind of thinking that it'll be Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler on that card, and a belt on the line for someone else. But we don't know anything about that one yet on June 29th from T-Mobile Arena. And the other ones that we know about, Fight Night, August 3rd in Abu Dhabi, and UFC 305, August 17th in Perth, Australia. So we don't know anything about those yet. So before we get out of here, I do want to point out what we do have, and kind of hits on some of the stuff that we missed while we had some audio difficulties. But I'd like to point out our winners for tonight. We do have our lowest number card that we have left is Damon Jackson with this Blue Hollow Laser Auto rated rookie. Number 18 to 25, good auto right there of Damon Jackson. And we buy those, throw in what else we have of Damon Jackson. We've got a press proof, and we got a silver, and even got a Spectra from those Chronicles products. So you can find all of our stuff on eBay on the Orange Fire Lots of Lots store. You can reach out to me directly if you want to just say, hey, you got any good ideas for the show? If you notice audio issues, you can always throw those out to me so it doesn't take me 5 weeks to figure it out. So you can email me directly at russ@orange-fire.com. You can find me on social media at Orange Fire Media all over the place. So we did point out we had a mail day where we finally got one of our damaged cards back, and it's encapsulated, this Habib Nurmagomedov Select Octagon Side Tie-Dye, and that's number 25. So it's a really good looking card, and it's encapsulated, got the Panini sticker on it, and so it looks really clean. It looks like a really great card, condition wise. And then to go along with that, and this is all listed as a lot in our store, I've also got this Habib Tools of the Trade Absolute Memorabilia Auto, number 49. And what's kind of unique about ours is I've seen them with like all black panels, but this one actually has this gold panel on it. So it's a little bit different, gives it a little bit, uniqueness compared to the other ones that I've seen anyway. So all of those Habib cards together, and then, like I said, Damon Jackson. We got a few other autos left, so maybe we'll show some of those next week after UFC 300. So like I said, as our main camera went out, great to see everybody this week. Appreciate you dropping by, and we will be back here after UFC 300 next week. So we'll wrap up Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill right here, right after the main event. And so that should be around midnight, like right after midnight is usually when those take place. So thanks a lot for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week right after UFC 300 right here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. I'm Russ Renault. Have a good night. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week.